Welcome to The Explainer. I'm your host, and today we're taking a purely objective, numbers-driven dive into a headline that has literally sent shockwaves through the tech world. We're talking about the Snap AI layoffs of 2026. We're going to unpack exactly what $500 million in corporate cuts reveals about the future of your job. Seriously, if you're a developer, a computer science student, or honestly just anyone working in tech right now, this is hands down the most important data you're going to look at all year.
$500 million. Now, you might be wondering, oh, is that a new revenue milestone for Snap? Nope. That is the exact annualized financial savings the company achieved by cutting 1,000 human developers and replacing their output entirely with artificial intelligence. Just let that sink in for a second. We hear these abstract conversations about AI taking jobs all the time, right? Well, this right here, this is the concrete, undeniable financial reality staring us right in the face.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The Snap AI layoff, a 16% workforce reduction.
To really grasp what's fundamentally altering the tech job market right now, we've got to look at the immediate crisis that unfolded in April 2026. And the catalyst for this massive workforce reduction? 65%. As of April 2026, Evan Spiegel and the team at Snap basically admitted that AI is now writing 65% of their new code. I mean, just think about the sheer magnitude of that percentage. When an algorithm is churning out the vast majority of your software development, well, the traditional economic justification for keeping a massive, highly paid engineering team around simply evaporates overnight. It's no longer some hypothetical future. It's literally their present operating model.
And, following the money reveals a fascinating market reaction. Within days of the announcement, Snap's stock jumped 25.1%. Snap had actually been struggling with profitability for years, but Wall Street actively, and I mean aggressively, rewarded these job cuts. From a purely objective standpoint, this proves that executives are heavily incentivized to follow this ruthless corporate equation. By slashing human payroll and leaning on AI, they freed up a ton of cash to fund their AR Spectacles division, and the investors, they absolutely cheered for it.
Now, this definitely didn't happen overnight. It's the result of a blistering 5-year evolution of AI in software development. Let's trace it back. In 2021, GitHub Copilot launched its beta. At the time, it was basically a smart autocomplete. Helpful for sure, but certainly not threatening. Fast forward to 2023, and AI was writing about 27% of active code. By 2025, that hit 46% across the industry. And now, here we are today in 2026, and Snap reaches 65% AI automation. In just half a decade, AI went from a neat little assistant to a full-blown structural workforce replacement. Crazy, right?
Moving right along to Section 2, the math, human versus AI, following the money. When you look at the raw financial calculator that tech executives are staring at behind closed doors, honestly, the mystery behind these mass layoffs completely vanishes. On one hand, you've got a human developer costing roughly $150,000 a year. On the flip side, an AI coding tool costing a mere $228 a year. That's about $19 a month. And remember, that AI works 24/7. It demands zero health benefits, it takes absolutely no sick days, and it never, ever asks for stock equity.
That creates a staggering 307 times cost advantage for corporate engineering. When you impartially look at that massive return on investment, you can see exactly why the switch to AI is an undeniably huge financial temptation for these companies. I mean, executives have a fiduciary duty to their shareholders, right? So a 307 times cost advantage is simply too big of a mathematical reality for any board of directors to just ignore.
All right, let's zoom out a bit to look at the bigger picture. Section 3, the 2026 layoff tsunami, a systemic restructuring.
Snap is absolutely not an isolated case. In just the first quarter of 2026 alone, over 73,000 tech jobs have been cut across 95 companies. Snap's 1,000 cuts, that's really just a drop in the bucket compared to the massive wave hitting giants like Meta at 8,000, Block at 4,000, and Atlassian at 1,600. The warning signs are literally flashing across the entire sector. These major corporations are actively reevaluating their human headcount against their shiny new AI capabilities, and they're all basically drawing the exact same conclusion.
But behind all these massive numbers are the invisible victims here, entry-level developers. They're facing severe hiring freezes right now. Why? Because the boilerplate tasks, the repetitive bug fixing and simple coding that junior developers used to do to learn the ropes, are now fully automated. The traditional training ladder is totally broken.
We've got recent computer science grads entering the market with $100,000 in student debt, only to find the very first rung of the career ladder has been completely consumed by AI. Which brings us to a really critical question. Section 4. Are companies cutting too soon? The HBR counterargument. A recent January 2026 Harvard Business Review study of over 1,000 global executives introduces a massive yes, but into this whole conversation. Are companies acting on hype rather than actual proven performance? Let's look at the data. GitHub's controlled tests show a massive 55% productivity gain when using AI. And hey, that sounds amazing on paper. But in the real world, data from Blue Optima shows just a 5.4% actual productivity gain in live, messy corporate environments. That is a huge discrepancy. Companies are rushing out to lay people off based on that 55% potential, not the 5.4% reality.
And because of that glaring expectation versus reality gap, there are some serious hidden risks here. Rapid AI automation leads to accumulating technical debt. We're talking messy code shortcuts that are going to cause massive headaches down the road, as well as totally unforeseen cybersecurity vulnerabilities. Plus, think about the potential embarrassment of having to rehire these exact same developers in a total panic 2 years from now when complex AI-generated code inevitably breaks down. Impartially speaking, executives might just be making a highly dangerous long-term bet here, all just to please short-term shareholders.
So what does this all mean for you, and how do you navigate this anxiety? Well, let's break it down. High-risk tasks right now include your boilerplate coding, repetitive bug fixing, test writing, and simple CRUD apps, basically basic programs just meant to create and read data. If your day-to-day consists of these, you're highly vulnerable. However, lower-risk roles like system architecture, security engineering, and crucially AI model oversight remain safe havens. These areas require complex human critical thinking and deep business context that an AI simply does not possess yet. Okay, let's shift gears and focus entirely on you. Section 5, your 5-step survival plan to protect your income. Here is your actionable financial survival framework. Step 1, audit your daily tasks. You need to know exactly what you do that an algorithm can do. Step 2, pivot toward AI oversight. Don't fight the tool, become the manager of the tool. Step 3, build your system architecture skills. Start seeing the big picture, not just the isolated code snippet. Step 4, develop cross-functional business knowledge, so you're actually solving business problems, not just writing syntax. And finally, Step 5, use AI tools yourself to 10x your own output before your company forces the issue. Really, try to frame this as a small reskilling investment to thoroughly protect your 6-figure earning potential.
We do have to acknowledge the trajectory we're on here. Microsoft officially predicts that 95% of code will be AI written by 2029. That is literally just a few years away. But remember this absolutely crucial takeaway. While the generation of code changes, the total global demand for new software projects is still growing aggressively. The world needs more software, not less. It just needs it built differently.
Because at the end of the day, AI automates tasks, not people. If you can reframe this massive industry shift from a threat into a powerful tool, the question isn't whether you'll lose your job to AI. The real question is, are you ready to manage it,